And we're live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Ghost of Bacon. I'm your host, Jake Roberts. Great to see so many you familiar faces and names out there. See John, Adam, Jeff, Ray, Penny, Carolyn, Will, Ray. Good to see you. Thanks, guys. Appreciate your support and continued patronage watching the show, checking out my information. And if you would, if you like hidden history and if you like what we do here on the show, make sure that you hit like and the follow button on YouTube for me. Help spread the word. Share it with friends that you also know enjoy this type of information. And if you're on Facebook, make sure you join my Keys of the Rosy Cross Facebook group. It's the new incarnation of the Ghosts of Bacon group. And we're already in full swing there. So if you haven't already made the jump over to the new group, please do so. Hey, Jan, glad you can make it. I just saw that, John. Oh, boy. So it's starting already. Well, listen, gang, been some pretty exciting times here. Just had a nice little talk with some friends here online. And we're moving forward with some new projects here, and really excited to see where things are moving and how we're transitioning into a whole new phase of our operations here. So exciting stuff. But tonight I want to kind of do a throwback to my first book, the Holy Trinity Decryption. You can see over my shoulder. There was an example in that book that I didn't know at the time, but actually corroborates all of the latest information that I've been sharing with you on the channel. And as I was going back and I've been kind of reviewing it of changes I'm going to make for another edition, and I came across this and I started laughing, realizing that I actually had some cipher signatures in there that I had missed, and I called them at the time misses, right? Because we're trying to lock in very specific values, and there were numbers at the time that I didn't know their meanings. So I said, oh, well, 7 out of this many is good. So I have 7 bacon signatures, and these other ones, well, they're just misses. Weren't misses at all. They were just other references to other people that I hadn't really delved into yet. So I'm going to cover that information tonight, and it's going to go into a second edition. Ayo, good to see you, my friend. Glad you could join us. Once again, so many regulars. I appreciate you guys very much. I appreciate your support. Hi, Patty. So, yeah, and the thing is, too, if you would, like I said, please try to spread the word about the show. With Facebook changing its rules of how you can, basically simulcast to it and those kinds of pages you have to have. It makes it challenging to get back that the same numbers of live viewers that I had previous to those rules being changed. So please spread the word, and if you have friends that like I said, are like-minded as you are and enjoy this type of stuff, please get them involved. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into my dog and pony show here. And I'll get rid of that background. There we go. We don't need that. And that'll work better. There we go. So in my first book, The Holy Trinity Decryption, I go into an example of the coat of arms of the de Medici family. And it does contain a cipher message. And so I'm going to kind of go into that and actually correct something that was in my first book that I missed. And so this is the image that I discuss in my book and I'm explaining tonight. And as you can see, it's the de Medici coat of arms, and it was in my Medici section of my book. And it has the famous 5 red balls and the 1 blue one with the fleur-de-lis on it. The de Medici family actually had the permission from French royalty to use that on their coat of arms. And as I was working on this section of my book, all of a sudden this image pops into my inbox. And it came to me via Chris Dona and Chris Morford. And they were like, well, what do you make of this? I know that you're interested in the Medicis. And so when I looked at it, I immediately was struck by how much it reminded me of a lot of the artwork that I had attributed to Francis Bacon. So I immediately started looking at it. And I do a full analysis in the book, as I said. And again, you see the two cherubs, or putti, or what they called, in the left and right upper corners. The one on the right, of course, is breaking the fourth wall, looking directly at the viewer, whereas the one on the left is actually looking down at the motto. Now, this is the clue that cued me in to this mistake. Because when we look at this motto of the De Medici coat of arms, it's wrong. And the reason it's wrong, the motto of the family is, here it's this Latin phrase, which actually means hence all my praise, or from this all my glory, when we translate it from the Latin. In reality, it's supposed to be festina lente, which means make haste slowly. And so this was a mistake. So I knew that we were looking at something that was a signpost from our friend Francis Bacon. And immediately when I look at this lettering, it's exactly the same as what I found on the plaque of Shakespeare's funerary monument. It's the same brown background, the same gold lettering, the same, font or typeface, if you will. And so, to me, that meant it was done by the same hand. The other thing that is very much like the monument are the conjoined letters. Here you see the, just like on the monument, this meant that those letters were supposed to be moved together in a transposition cipher. And the conjoined letters are N-E and M-E, nay, me. Nay is Latin for not or lest. So this motto says, hence all my praise, or from this all my glory, but in the middle is the message of not me. So again, I knew we were looking at a transposition cipher. And so what I did was I just looked at it in terms of there are, exactly 15 characters, if you count the conjoined characters as one each. And so this meant it would be a table of in this case, I made 3 rows with 5 columns. And the key I used was 7 for reasons I explain in my book. So this 3x5 table, we're able to make out these acrostic anagrams. Sina, or sini, means scum or filth when in reference to people. And dominum, of course, is the domain or house of, house belonging to. And sum, we see here in the middle, means their own. And so it means their own house of filth, and we're left over with the letters of CH, which we know can be used the Atbash substitution cipher with R for H. So once again, they're using their word CR as their sign and sigil, our own sign and seal, etc. So when we look at the cipher values, and I'll come back to this message as well. What I did was I looked at each of these words and I calculated the cipher values of each one in all the ciphers. So HINC produced the very familiar numbers that all of you are familiar with. 33 in simple, which is Bacon in simple. 67 in reverse, which is Francis in simple. And then in K cipher, it produces 111, which is the value of the name Bacon in K. So I knew I was really onto something here, right? So this is a huge signpost. So I went ahead with Decus, and FR the third are the same as 50 and 75 in simple and reverse. And 128 is the value of King Francois Valois Angoulême in short cipher. So these were all unknown, but because of that first hink, it made me delve a little deeper. Now, in my book, when I looked at Omne, the simple cipher value of 44 is the same as Rex in simple, and I counted 56 as a miss, right? And 70, of course, is Rex in K cipher. But what I messed up with, back then I hadn't calculated all the values for the name Stuart with the French spelling of S-T-U-A-R-T. And in doing so, I missed that 56 is the reverse cipher value of Stuart, spelled that way. Meum produces in simple 49, reverse is 51, and K is 75. My first book, I counted both of the first two as misses. And of course, 75 is the Scottish or English spelling of Stuart in reverse cipher. And it wasn't until I'd already calculated all the values for our friend Sir Walter Raleigh that all of a sudden these became clear. 49, of course, is Raleigh in simple cipher. Please note that I'm using his spelling, not the modern version with the I in it. And 51 is Walter Raleigh in short cipher. He uses 51 the same way Francis Bacon used 55 for Francis Bacon in short cipher. So far, so good. And so those were the misses. I missed out on the Raleigh values. And now looking back, I go back and I say, these weren't misses after all. I just hadn't calculated those values yet because I hadn't come across the messages regarding Walter Raleigh. There are also other messages that I missed in the transposition. And here in the highlighted yellow, we can spell out the word I, shunned. And when we substitute an N for the M using the at-batch system. And now this is the same message as the Shakespeare Funerary Monument Black, where Bacon refers to himself as the shunned Medici grandson. And here you can also see the message, me, or the underlined letters when we take out and left justify after we remove the yellow highlighted letters. Me, lux, I'm light. And then, of course, we calculate the values of the leftover letters, which are C and E and M, which once again produce 33 in simple, 67 in reverse, and 85 in K, which is the reverse cipher value of Frater, Brother Francis Bacon. So, complete message in just these few characters on this Medici work. We have the overlapping words, which is a more advanced system that I realized that I now know how to use. That when I first wrote my first book, I hadn't been using it. And so the message says, I shunned from their own house of filth. And of course, my misses were the obvious Raleigh signatures now that are obvious to me today, but weren't then. So I thought that was kind of like a cool little revisit of my first book and something that I had missed. And that as we continue to do this work and as it continues to grow and evolve, I go back and I revisit a lot of the information that I had uncovered the first time and realized that there had been so much that I had missed. So looking at messages. Hey, Lon, glad you could join us. Hi, Jan. David, yeah, I'm hard to find, buddy. What can I say? Well, thanks, Penny. So I don't know, gang. As we continue to do this work, and what you're going to find is in the next, I would say, a few months and into the next year, particularly when John and Will, when your book comes out, and Adam, I really hope you and your dad are working on one. As we start pooling our information again and unveiling a lot of the new discoveries, it's just only going to add to it. It's going to add to the corroboration that we've all have already been experiencing, but it's also going to reveal a lot, many more secrets that are left to be unveiled. I bet it looks great, Lon. Let's see. Well, like I said, I wanted to keep this one short and sweet. I thought it was kind of a cool little callback to information as an addendum, if you will, to something that was left out of that first book. But like I said, when I go back and finally am able to do my second edition, there are going to be a lot of additions to it, a lot of clarifications, and you know there are areas where as I go back and I look at it now, I really need to take my time to explain each of the conclusions I've reached. And like I said, that is going to be a task in and of itself. Looking at our messages. And again, and Lon, yeah, I was remiss to mention your name as well. You have a lot to share coming up very soon. And Adam, that is great news. Into the Folio, what a great title. And I can't wait for people to see that because, people have kind of poo-pooed the idea of any kind of ciphers in the first folio for far too long. We know they're there. We see all the signposts, and you and your dad have really cracked the code there, buddy. So I can't wait to see that. And Will, I really can't wait for you to do that either. And I know that you and John are just really, really looking forward to see that look on my face that only you two know how to make appear. So, and very interesting. Well, Jan, that's really interesting. You have the Stewart spelling both ways in your family tree. Is there any reason why they would flip-flop back and forth? Okay. Actually, yeah. I have the same something similar in my family. When my ancestors emigrated from Canada, a lot of them were in Montreal, and up there it was spelled, Roberts was spelled without the S, and it was Robert. And when they came over here, it became Roberts. So there was a Francois Robert. He came over and he became Frank Roberts. So I think that it has to do with, not just their place of origin, but where they happen to be at any given time. AO, hashtag let's go Shakespeare. I love it. And there are more secrets to come up. And as usual, I do hold back a few things here and there. I make all my work, like I said, open source, so other people can do the same thing. But there are certain things that I've uncovered that I do keep to myself simply because without proper corroboration, I'll sound like a crazy person. I don't want to do that. Instead, I just kind of I share it with people that I think can benefit from hearing it. But there will be a time when everything will be revealed for sure. Oh, James, great question. Why would the Medicis have Bacon create their coat of arms? I don't think they did. I think he just did it. I think he did it. He put it out there under one of his pseudonyms, one of his aliases, and encoded it in this way because of how he felt about Catherine de Medici, who was his secret grandmother. She was the reason why, he was not the heir to the throne that he was meant to be. So yeah, great question. And Bacon and Raleigh were doing this. Yeah, Patty, we were Robert. When I did the family tree for Dad a couple years ago. Found that out. Jenny, always with good questions. Is there anything with a W being a double U in the ciphers? Always wondered why W was called that. Looks more like a double V. It does. And in fact, what you see in the ciphers, Jenny, is the double V. I mean, it's called W, but that wasn't until after they added the letter U to the alphabet. The Elizabethan alphabet did not have the letter U or J. So, and there were times when Bacon used two V's to represent a W because it has a different value, right? V has, say, simple cipher. V has the value of 20, where W has 21. And if you needed a value of 40, you would use two V's. And he does that frequently. But yeah, it does look like a double V for sure. Great questions, gang. Anything else? Not seeing anything in the chat. Well, also, just taking care of business type items too. In our Facebook group, like I said, if you are still a member of the Ghosts of Bacon, but you haven't switched over yet, make sure you switch over. That's where we're posting all of our newest information, is in the keys of the Rosy Cross. I have pinned the link to it at the top of the Ghosts of Bacon. Or you can just get on there and search the keys of the Rosy Cross, and it's spelled ROSICROSSE. And should take you right to it. And all you have to do is click the join button, answer a question, and you're in. So make sure you do that. And once again, if you haven't already followed the channel, make sure you do so. Click the like button. And the other thing, too, is in my new group, one of the things that I said is, if you're a fellow author and you want to plug information from one of your books and put in a link, I allow that. By all means, just don't spam us. That's all I ask. Speaking of fellow author, David, you just posted a comment. Redo of latest book, a summarized 100-page, no color version, just the info. Yep, I'll just do the summary without the deep dive of all the ciphers, right? Yeah, AO, I know you don't use Facebook. I don't blame you there. If I could, for me, unfortunately, it's become a necessary evil, and everyone in the group knows that I don't use it probably as much as I should. And David's saying his book is about spam. I didn't see any spam recipes in it, David. I saw a lot about fibers. Nothing about spam. That's an interesting take there, Oni. Kind of like a double B, X for the chromosome. Yeah, because you have the two. Yeah, I get it. I get what you're saying there. And once again, only on this show and only from David would you have a comment like this. This is not an endorsement of any product, and I'm not saying that it has any health value. I can neither confirm nor deny David's statements. All right, folks, like I said, I knew it was going to be a short one tonight, but I'll be scheduling these little, these shorter ones probably at least every other episode. And do know that there is going to be a deep dive coming out very, very soon about some new transposition decryptions I've been doing. And I think you're going to really enjoy them. Thanks, Penny. You too. Give Donnie a hug. So this one from AO, the more this mystery unravels, it has to be asked, are there other places, in other words, drawings, paintings, and sculptures that have been hidden in plain sight that Bacon, Raleigh, and their team left messages? Yes. Yeah, particularly artwork, frontispieces of books from the time period, written by their aliases. It's funny. There was a book written by one of the Bacon aliases that Walter Raleigh did the frontispiece for. So both as artists, they were both, involved with each other's work intimately. And so once you really start picking out who these people were pretending to be and what names they were using, you can continue to find multiple encryptions. Yes, Jeff, thank you, my friend. Hit that like button. You, out of all people, know how beneficial that is and how it can spread the show. Jeff Freeman, everyone from the Freeman Files, his channel is jfree906. Make sure you head over there. He has the best Oak Island podcast on the internet, and just insanely popular. I can't imagine, having the number of followers that you have, Jeff. You just kill it. Now, Jan, come on now, if you cook it the right way. Speaking of, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Yes, it's like, well, it's not really like potted meat. It's like ham pieces all pressed together. Thanks, Jenny. Really appreciate your words. We hope you guys have a great holiday weekend. I know that your Thanksgiving was much earlier. And a Black Friday sale on my books. That's a great idea, Jenny. Maybe I'll drop the price for a week. See what happens. Hey, Aki. Glad you can make it. Yeah, by all means, feel free to always get caught up, and really appreciate your support. And like Jeff said, make sure you hit that like button, hit follow, and spread the word. Yeah, Sandy. My father used to take those to work with him for lunch. It's nasty stuff. Penny likes it. I can't do it. Just can't do it. All right, gang. That's all I have for you for this week. I'll see you in a couple more. And have a great holiday here in the States. And my friends up north, well, stay warm. And I'll be catching up with you next time. So, I'll sign off here with my little outro. Bye, gang.